Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina Margot.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Welcome back to Vic Akers Wonderland. It was 6, nearly 7 in heaven for Arsenal against Rangers. But to make it even better, we have 7 heaven here. Lottie, how are you?
I'm good. We knocked Rangers for 6. Excuse the cricket reference because I don't watch cricket. But yeah, no, good. I'm okay. I'm ready for tomorrow. But I'm back at Meadow Park for a double game. Just found out that there's unfortunately not enough interest in the Atletico and Rangers game. So they've now moved everybody who's bought South Stands tickets up to the North Bank, which I'm quite pleased about because it means I'm not going to get wet if it rains. So, but yeah, how are you?
I am good. Adam, how are you?
Overjoyed, really. I was a bit nervous going into the Wednesday night game, which we discussed earlier. So to come out of that with a beaming smile was quite nice. And based on Lottie's news, that's fantastic because I've got tickets for the Rangers Atletico Madrid game in the North Bank. So we'll actually be able to watch a game together, which must be the first time. Was it 5 years, 6 years? It's been a while since we've been together for a game. So I'm looking forward to that.
Was it the City game where someone's nose accidentally?
Yeah, someone gave me a nosebleed. That was the last time I sat with him. And if anyone's wondering why, we were celebrating, and Adam got a bit too excited. And I'm only 5'3", and he's about 6 foot something.
Well, I hope that there'll be plenty of reasons to be excited at the weekend, although thankfully we will be sat apart for the Arsenal game, so your nose shall remain attached to your face.
I'm completely safe. I'm safe. I've also got my bodyguard with me, so I'll be fine.
Maybe you can ask Lotte Woodmoy for her Batgirl mask.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. I sort of came out and it was raining and all of a sudden just whoosh, it was gross. Let's not talk about that. Let's move on.
We talk about it in every other podcast, so we might as well.
Whatever. But that's the last time I sat with you.
The news then. So quickly, transfers. Maddie L has been dual loaned over to Bristol City. David Pipe, the under-21 coach, has mentioned that she's an unreal talent, one of the best I've ever seen or worked with in male or female academy football. He's looking forward to this new chapter for her. I think that's going to be a good opportunity for Maddie because she's not really one that sort of, if you mention her name, there's not really that buzz compared to some of the other players like a Vivian Leah or Michelle Agiman. But she is still an exciting player, and hopefully this is an opportunity for her. She's going to be back in January, so best of luck to Maddie Earl. The only other news we have is Mariona Caldente has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Wishing her the best of luck with that. You never know, you might be in the top 3, maybe top 5, who knows. But for now, we'll get into the game. So let's talk about the starting 11 just first of all. I will just quickly make sure that I've got that up there when it decides to take 5 minutes. We had Manu in goal. No, he doesn't want to. Right, okay.
We had Manu in goal.
Thank you.
Back four of Fox, Cordina, Leah Williamson, and Katie McCabe. We had Little and Kyra Cooney across in the middle, and then we had a 3 of Caldente. Sorry, Mariona should like to be called. I know the Barcelona fans will come after me for that one. Mariona, and then in the middle we had, who was in the middle? Frida Marnham, and then Caitlin Ford on the right, and up top we had Alessia Russo.
Yes.
Thank you, Lottie, for sparing my blushes.
None of us predicted it correctly. We all got.
Oh, absolutely not. I think it's like I'm itching to see Rosa Caffergy, so I'm going to be putting her in until I get to see her play. I'm hoping she plays tomorrow.
Same.
You've had the luxury of seeing her live already, so that's not really fair.
True. I mean, yes, that is true. I've seen her twice now live on but I would like to see her start again.
Yeah, I get that.
So with that, was there any surprises for you just in that starting 11?
Foooord on that right wing. That scared me.
It did scare me.
It did scare me because I want to see her to start. She wasn't in my starting 11.
Yeah,
No, she was actually. I did end up putting her in her in because there was no one else.
That was the problem, wasn't it? And obviously we'll talk about how the game progressed. But as it was progressing, your opinion on Caitlin Foooord was in the back of my mind as the game was progressing, and thinking, I'm sure Lottie's enjoying this one.
Yes,
I believe Matt's got something to serve. It's very hot.
Yes, so I do have to have a humble pie, as last season. Those that might not be aware, we were giving out scores for each player. I gave Caitlin Foooord the worst score of the lot, and I gave her a 1.
Yep.
And the reason I gave her a 1 was just because of how inconsistent she was, and the fact that she looked not as usually she has a purple patch, and that usually comes in like January time, and that never came. The only real contribution you could probably say over that season for me was probably getting the assist for the Conti Cup final winner for Sean Blackstenius. But even then, maybe I should have bumped it up a little bit. But yes, apologies to Caitlin Foooord. Hopefully we'll be serving a few more of them this time, and hopefully it's not going to be a repeat of last season. I am touching wood for those that are wondering. So just speaking of that, 15 minutes into the game, Mariona puts in a lovely cross. It goes into the far post. Caitlin Foooord loses Arnott and heads past Esson for 1-0. Brilliant goal. Adam, how are you feeling in the stadium to get that goal?
We're a bit surprised. I was thinking it was going to be a nod back across the goal. And maybe for Russo to run in on, because the cross looked to be too deep. But the key thing is the keeper's out of position, and Matt, as a member of the goalkeeper union, you might be able to have a bit of sympathy here. But when you watch the behind the goal angle, the keeper has misjudged it completely, and Foooord has had the intelligence to notice that she can steal it at the near post, and he glanced it in, and sort of. I said before, I was nervous going into this game, and I just thought I don't want Rangers to have anything to feed off, any hope. I just want any hope, a goal or a moment, just something, just get in there early and get that goal. And it took a bit of a while. I think it was 15 minutes. You say it was?
Yeah,
the clock.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. You get that first goal, and it's just relax. We're in the groove now. We're on the way. We've got the first goal, and it was Caitlin Foooord who, interestingly, scored our first goal of the season last season as well. So she's making a bit of habit of making fast starts. So it bodes well for the season, hopefully.
Just hope it doesn't stall.
Well, yes. But a well taken header. But shout out to Caldente. It's a peach of a cross, cutting in on the inside and whipping it in. And I said at the time, I think that's not going to be the last assist we'll see for Caldente. We're just starting to see what she can offer on that left flank, and it's very exciting. She was doing a lot of good work in the corner flag as well. A lot of the passing between her and McCabe and Frida Luttermornen. So very exciting, that bit of the pitch, and obviously a great way to start the goal scoring.
Lottie?
Yeah, I've just got to hold my hands up for what I said on the last show. I'm eating a lovely slice of humble pie. Like, I'm not her biggest fan. I did actually give her the lowest score, but hey ho. So you can sit there and chuckle you like, Adam Salter.
Did you give her a 4? Was it a 4 you gave her?
3.
3.
Oh, right, it was 3. Okay.
It was a 3, and then I savagely gave Katie McCabe a 2 because it was just the drop off was unreal. Do you know what? I think what I really enjoyed about that goal, it was freedom on having the freedom to overload that midfield, and Rangers didn't know what to do. That I feel like that was really key to it. She did that throughout the game, and I was just like, yes, this is what I want to see from Frida. Because a lot of people look at her and they see a lot of hit and miss, or sometimes she'll go really quiet because of her confidence. But she's come back and she looks like that player we glimpsed before the World Cup.
Yeah.
So she's had a good rest. She had a good summer. Like, we're ready to go again. Yeah, that cross is sublime. But I am going to argue that goal isn't exactly Caitlin Foord. It came off the keeper's hand when you watch the replay.
It's not an own goal, don't.
I know, but it could potentially. But the ball must have been over the line. I haven't actually done screenshots, so Caitlin Foord could have it. But it's a debate. It's a debated turning point, and it was just it's nice to see her back on the score sheet, but I still have questions. Can she do this for the rest of the season? Because she scored the first goal last season and that was it.
I do wonder if maybe this is the start of a new position for her and she's going to be moved, because we're quite overloaded on the left side now because we got her to Mariona and Foooord. Foooord is what's the best versatile. You know, she can play both sides.
So can Mariona.
But I think Mariona is a better left flank option than Foooord.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about squads for the future for the next game at the weekend, but I'm wondering if Foooord is going to be a right wing option rotational with Beth, because at the moment because now that Chloe Lacasse's gone, there is no right wing alternative, and Foooord is actually right footed, and it might actually benefit her from being a right footer coming in on the back post rather than having to sort of play with a weaker foot on the left. So we'll see. So obviously it's early days, it's one game, but Foooord has been played a lot on that right during pre-season. She had that role during the Chelsea game. This may be the start of a position shift for her, but we'll see.
Well, hopefully she did a bit better than she did against Chelsea, that's for sure, because that open goal, geez. Right, I should stop the Foooord.
Yeah, you should let's stop right there. Just accept your humble pie. A very big slice of humble pie served by Caitlin Foooord.
With dollops of custard and clotted cream on top.
Not everyone likes the custard or the cream, but each their own. Let's go into half time. 1-0. At that point, how are you feeling, Lottie?
Yeah, I was still unsettled at home. I was like, no, this is not enough. This is absolutely not enough. I think after Paris last season, as I said, I've said this before, I don't take qualifying with pinch of salt. I wasn't comfortable with 1-0 because Rangers have had a good pre-season from what we heard from Laura, and although they're not, it isn't the quality that we are. Their confidence was up and ready for it. Cause that's kind of, it's no disrespect to the teams that they've taken on, but you want to be beating people up that much to get your confidence up and raring to go. But I wasn't happy it was 1-0 because Rangers could have come back. And the way that Wilkinson was playing, she was prowling for Manu to make a mistake, and we all know Manu has that mistake in her, unfortunately.
Adam, what was the atmosphere around the stadium at the half time?
I would say calm at the time. It obviously helped we got the goal and we were going in the half-time in the lead. As you say, Lottie, we are scarred by previous defeats at this stage of the competition. You don't take anything for granted. And my feeling was, at the time, Arsenal were in control of the game. I think back to that Paris FC game, for example, we weren't really in control of the game. We were playing the game, but we weren't in control of the game. We were just sort of a part of it. And then it all went helter-skelter in the second half as we tried to forget. But I felt this game, we're in control here. The ball is up we're forcing the ball at their end of the pitch. We're getting the balls in, the crosses in. Rangers are having to defend with their lives. They're backs against the wall. They're getting the blocks in, the tackles in. We've got one goal at least. We should have been more than the one goal ahead. There were a few other chances. Foooord was culpable. I think Mariona had a shot saved, and it just made me think back to one of the things that came out of the Southampton game was the inability to take our chances. We were creating the opportunities, especially in open play, but we weren't creating, converting, shall we say, enough of those opportunities. If you think back, the only goal from open play was a worldie from Kyra. We didn't get. None of the other two goals were set pieces. So I was thinking I need to see more of our play converted into goals. We got one of them, but there was a lot of stuff happening in the pitch. Thinking they're there for the taking, Rangers. And my feeling was always second half, the ammunition we got on the bench, the Rangers' legs were tired. They were getting desperate as well. There was the referee. I would say, to put politely, was happy to let the game flow, and Rangers were all too happy to do that. There was a lot of physicality that got wave play on.
A couple of fights in there as well.
Codner almost had her shirt taken off her before half time, which was interesting to watch, and the rest sort of wave play on. And you thought, if something happens, if something snaps, if one of the Arsenal players loses their temper and does something stupid, all of a sudden, the game could change. But it was calm at half time. I just wanted to see more in that second half. I just thought there's more goals in this. We need to just kill the game early as possible and then bring the subs on, protect the players for the next round. And that was the thing. You just get that second goal as soon as possible, and then we can sort of enjoy the evening.
And that second goal did come 58 minutes on the clock. Emily Fox plays a short pass to Kim Little, who this is just fantastic. I just love this. Whenever these sort of things happen, you just start. She feels like she's a figure skater or something like that. She just dances past these 4 players, ends up falling over, but she still manages to play a lovely through ball where Caitlin Foord races on it and guides it past Essen's right for 2-0. But Kim Little is one of those players that you look at and just every time I mention it, it's just like if there's one person you like to watch live, is Kim Little, because
she makes football look like art. Let's just say it. A lot of people will disagree with that statement, but when you watch Kim Little play football, it is art. End of story. You can't argue with me. I won't have anyone try and tell me I'm crazy. I think that's what Matt's trying to say. Is that about right?
Yeah, I'd say even a little bit. I always say that she is the female version of Santi Cazorla. Arsene Wenger made that know that you couldn't get the ball off Santi in the phone box. You couldn't do the same with Kimmy.
It was impressive to see that she had the entire range defence on her back, and you're just watching them swarm upon her. And that Kim on the ball, her balance, as you say, with the feet and stuff, she can twist and turn and duck and weave. She knows every trick in the book to keep hold of the ball in those tight spaces. And then because the whole defence is swarmed upon Kim, there's spaces everywhere, and she squirms the ball out forward into the box, and Foord races onto it. And we're going to talk about some pretty good goals in this game, but this was a pretty good one. It's a beautifully sort of caressed. I would almost, it's a cliche, but I would almost say it's Henry-esque, where she sort of run past the ball and curves it with her right foot around past the keeper and into the sort of far corner. Although it was a bit more aerial, Henry used to sort of roll it. But it was that sort of run on and just sort of placed it past the keeper, and it goes to 2-0, and you're like, right, that's it. We're in, it's full steam ahead from here. We got the second goal, we've got the margin. And it was a really good moment. It was Caitlin Foord again. You was thinking, oh, crikey, this is, where's this Caitlin Foord been? It's 2 goals. Whatever could happen next.
And we didn't have to wait long for the next one. And I think this is, again, one of the things that does annoy me about TV companies, because you don't get the full picture. I always go back to when the men played, there was a North London derby. Arsenal just scored, and then Spurs had the kick-off. And then Arsenal, Fabregas is through on goal, and he goes and scores, and we nearly missed the entire thing because the camera's not focusing on the actual game, and they've just spotted an opportunity. Anyway, 59 minutes on the clock. After the kickoff, the Gunners regain the possession. If you're not there, don't know what's happened. All we see is Caitlin Foord passes to Frida Lenhards and Marnham, whose through ball finds Alessia Russo to finish past Essen, but she gets a touch on it. It's just not enough because it sails onto the left side of the net for 3-0. Lottie, what were you thinking at that point?
Like the turnover and the quick succession. Oh, it was just like, what is going on? Like, we've been screaming out for this for so long. You'll get that time distance between Caitlin's first and second goal, but we never have a follow-up goal that quick anymore. And it's just, I think the best word to describe it is insane. And yeah, I ended up jumping off my sofa, put it that way.
So I almost missed this one because I was live tweeting.
Please tell me you went on Twitter.
I was on Twitter
for goodness sake, you silly boy.
Because I was live tweeting the fact that Caitlin just scored a goal, and I was just tweeting it for notes. Because I do it for live tweeting, but also notes for myself for for future. And then just having to look up, and suddenly Russo's bursting through, and she smashed it through. Just the pass has just been made, and suddenly it's like, oh crikey, he's caught me completely flat-footed. The coverage, as you say, Matt. didn't really do it justice because they, I think it was Emma Byrne was on the panel with the commentator, and they were discussing quite rightly Foooord's goal, and then suddenly cuts back to the footage and Russo's been played through. What happens is that the Rangers team played the ball backwards from the kickoff, which they're entitled to do, and they look to punt it long. Unfortunately for them, Emily Fox has stormed up from right back, intercepted the clearance, and what I loved, and I put a message out on this just a few minutes before we went on air, the speed of transition, the speed at which Arsenal capitalised on the fact that Rangers weren't defensively set because they were prepared to push forward to try and chase an unlikely goal to get them back into the game. And Arsenal very quickly, the passing very quick, for it was Foooord to Frida to Russo, exploited the spaces in that back line. And it's been time and time again that one of the big Jonas philosophies is a high press, high turnover, ultra intensive press to try and get those moments. And that is exactly what Jonas Eideball, if you will, is about. We have had moments of that. I think because I love a quick fire double, obviously because it helps really kill the game, but you also take advantage of the fact that the defense is not mentally, you've just conceded. If you're not fully focused, you can be got at again. And I think that happened with the Rangers team as well. I think psychologically they slipped, they lost their focus, and Arsenal ruthlessly exploited that. And I want to see more of that in the season to come. There was a few quick fire doubles we had last season. I think back to like the League Cup against Aston Villa. I think you were there for Lottie when Stina got her hat trick. Rapid fire goals, just
Yes, I believe I was standing with you and Ali, wasn't I?
I wasn't there. I was in the hotel.
Oh, you didn't drop in, and then you left me with that. Well, you left me and Ali to go and sit in your seat.
So that was no, I wasn't at the game at all. I had to watch the one on TV. Yeah, the Aston Villa semi. No, it was a different game.
Okay, never mind.
Anyway, I digress. The point was that were Arsenal able to knock at the opponent while they were dazed. Take advantage of that moment, and I love the fact that it was just rapid fire 1-2 goal. Russo, keeper should do better, but there's a lot of power behind the shot, and goes in, and then already it's 3-0, and then that's it. It's like, right, we got, was it 50 minutes? Was it 59 minutes? The third goal went in, I think it was. So you got half an hour to do whatever you want. Bring the subs on, bring the kids on, or bring in your other squad players you want to bring into the game. There are more goals in there now because Rangers are basically dead on their feet now. They know that the game's up. And it became a sort of a party atmosphere. And one of the emotions I felt watching it is it's one of the few, after what happened last season, it was difficult to, by the end, to sort of enjoy watching Arsenal play because so much had gone wrong and the play style wasn't right and the players weren't really, as we know, were playing at the best. This was really enjoyable watching Arsenal play. Actually, it was fun watching them play and play this style. And it's like, right, yes, this is genuine, not just because we're winning 3-0, but it's actually fun to watch in the second half. And this is what I meant about taking your chances. We're creating the chances, it's converting them. And now we were converting them. Great that Russo is obviously off the mark because he's probably going to be our main striker this season. So to go off the mark nice and early is great. And it's just about, like, right, can we build on this confidence? Can we keep that ticking over? Because, if we keep playing like this, more goals will follow.
Thing is, for me, I don't know if this will work in the WSL, and that's my big question.
Well, that's the question, yeah.
So, like, no disrespect to the Scottish leagues or Rangers, but it's a far lower level than what we play against on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I feel so horrible for saying that. I'm so sorry.
This is the pinch of salt we have to take with this result. I mean, we'll talk about obviously what happened, how it all panned out in the end. But in terms of Caitlin Foord and her performance, yes, she was really good and got as many goals as she did. But then you have to take advantage of the fact that this is the opposition she was playing. Is she going to be able to do that against, say, I don't know, Manchester City opening day of the season? Is she going to do it again this weekend? So it looks great now, but as you say, Lottie, there was a clear disparity, and disparity that ultimately did play out as we'd hoped. But if you would hope that if Arsenal can repeat this but make it better and make it stronger, that maybe it could work. But obviously that remains to be seen.
68 minutes on the clock. This is Jonas's favourite goal of the lot. And I think this one's going to be up there as one of the goal contenders for the month, if I'm honest, because it's just fantastic. Katie McCabe doing very Katie McCabe things and playing that lovely long ball into the box. Caitlin Foord runs onto it, but she watches it and then she volleys it with power past Essen for the hat-trick and 4-0. It was really fantastic. I'm sure the roar was heard, Adam, from like outside. You could probably hear it halfway down the high street.
It was much loved. It was right in front of the North Bank. We should actually just mention, quite controversially last season, Arsenal reversed their ends and their dugouts. So the Arsenal team attacked the North Bank in the first half rather than in the second half, and the dugouts are the wrong way around. They have, for this game at least, hope for the rest of the season, it's reversed back. So the dugouts are now, I'm now sat behind the home dugout now, and the Arsenal were attacking the North Bank in the second half. And I think that was, for me, really beneficial because all the goals, the goals in the second half, obviously, there were plenty to choose from, were at the North Bank, and it really did help build the atmosphere more. And that goal was the pick of the bunch. The only comparison I can think of, is to use an Arsenal men's analogy, was the sort of 2011-12 season when you used to have Alex Song pinging those balls over the top for Van Persie to hit on the volley. And it was very much so that it's a wonderful arc on the ball, and Foooord is raced onto it. Her eyes are on the ball. She's watched it onto her foot. She's timed the connection, and the keeper's got no chance. It's a beautiful finish and a beautiful way to finish off the hat trick, which she deserved, and obviously takes home the match ball. But a really well executed goal, and it just sort of showed that the range of defence was shot to pieces. There was no structure left there. The game was up, and it was just about them seeing out the game and Foooord took advantage with a really well executed volley. As you say, Lottie, will we see a goal like that in the WSL? Maybe not, but it was a great goal to witness on the day. And then after that, I think it was 4-0, game over, and I think Jonas ran the changes after that.
Lottie, just on this one, do you think Casey was getting lessons from Leah Williamson on this? Because that's the only way I can think of how.
I'm going to say yes. Katie McCabe not being Katie McCabe. Yeah, I don't know how to word that. I mean, there was footage of her walking away, like doing the crybaby sign on the face, and it was from a fan caught her doing it. I think after that goal, I'm not too sure at what point in the game, but she would have walked straight past Adam where Adam sits. So I don't know if Adam actually saw that, but I was looking at like
probably not.
Okay, there's Katie McCabe sort of thing. So I think I'm going to say yes on this occasion. But yeah, my personal opinions on Katie's shithousery at the minute, so I'm not going to go there.
What do you think of the goal though? Just for getting Foooord to take it like that.
You're really making me eat this humble pie, aren't you? You're enjoying it.
I think we're all eating pie tonight on this one, aren't we?
Yeah, I think
more so than anybody, because I'm not her biggest fan. It was an absolutely sublime goal. It was the best goal of the game. Although the penalty is in contention for me, which we'll get on to in a bit. But yeah, no, it was absolutely wicked goal. I want more. I want more, and I don't want to be giving her a 3 again this season. I want her numbers to come back, because to drop off the real, but it's looking good at the minute. It's quadruple of what she had started last season.
Hopefully getting that consistency as well, and I think we'll probably talk about more about this as the season goes on, like progress on some of the players and what's worked and what's not. But we'll carry on now. The penalty, unfortunately, I can't get back to the highlights, so I can't see what. I think it was a handball in the box.
No. It was the penalty.
Yes.
Katie got a leg swiped away.
Yes, thank you. So the referee blows up penalty, and Kim Little doing Kim Little things, putting the ball away. Lottie?
That's my captain, club record holder, 43 goals for the Arsenal in the Champions League. It's just safe, dependable Kimmy. Although end of last season, we don't talk about that. That was just a nightmare, because it's like how often do you see Kim Little miss a penalty? You don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, 43 goals. I mean, I want more. Let's hit that 50 by the end of the season. I don't see why not.
Adam, the penalty?
Yeah, really well taken penalty. Obviously, we know that Kim was a bit wavered a bit from the spot last season. Usually is very, very reliable, has been for the Arsenal. So good to see her get off the mark with a penalty. We should also say in last season, first game of the qualifiers, Kim had a very early penalty and didn't score that one. And obviously this time around, she has actually netted this one. And it was really well taken, full power, roof of the net stuff, keeper no chance. Just an interesting one because obviously Katie McCabe was fouled. Did anybody notice? Have you got acclimatized to the fact that she's now wearing a number 11 on the back of her shirt? And I know she'd always be. Yeah, I know it's a weird one, but I was watching, thinking, oh yeah, she's 11 now. She's no longer off 15. That's going to take some getting used to.
Do you know how many times I've done edits and I've had to change, all that stuff around? I'm kind of dreading social media's reaction to the post tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's not Katie McCabe.
No, exactly. Can you?
And I'm not apologising for it either.
No, absolutely not. Sadly, she's not 15, but she's 11, and I thought actually on the day she had a great game, and that penalty came from a set piece. I think it was a corner, and Rangers didn't defend it well at all, and it was beautiful just to see that retention of the chaos in the box. We saw a lot of it at Southampton, and Arsenal were able to keep the ball in the area and keep the chaos turning over, and eventually one of the Rangers players makes a rash challenge. McCabe goes down. I was actually filming the corner at the time, so I've actually got the foul on camera, which is rare because I never ever catch anything on footage. So that was on camera, which is quite cool.
But did Arsenal catch you taking pictures?
Yes, they did. And yeah, that's on me. I thought I'd take a picture of the crowd, and I got filmed doing so, which that's how accessible areas works.
You got snapped and filmed.
I got snapped. I got caught in the act. Well taken penalty from Kim, and it was at 86 minutes. And if I was to sort of think of the game, I don't want to be too harsh on Rangers, but I would have thought it felt like, and this is my feeling at the time, was the game was sort of winding down. Like Stina and Rose would have come on by then. And I was thinking, well, for me, it's a 4-0 game. I thought if it finished 4-0, I don't think I could have any complaints. But in those last few minutes, it was a bit like almost a bonus round. And suddenly Kim scoring a penalty, and you're thinking, and then the crowd's now saying, "Oh, we want 6, we want 6." And you're thinking, "Crikey, how high are we going to get on the scoreboard on this one?"
With that 89 minutes on the clock, again, unfortunately, because of camera angle, I wasn't able to see who actually got the back heel, but it was a lovely back heel to Laura Weinreuther. Laura Weinreuther. She again dancing past in Rangers players, and then plays a short ball for Kafai to have her effort set. Unfortunately, was saved by Essen, but it falls down, and Caitlin Foord's on there. Thank you very much, and scores the rebound. 4 for her, and she doesn't do an iconic celebration like someone at Anfield, which is a bit of a shame, but you take it. Lottie, how are you feeling?
The amount of edits I've seen, and they've been really bad, and I'm sitting there looking, do I really want to fix this? No. No. No, absolutely buzzing. I mean, first half qualification is secured. Caitlin Foord is on fire. Okay, that didn't really work, but you know what I mean. But yeah, no, really happy, ready for. Yeah, I think we're ready to take on Rosenborg.
Yeah, to answer your question, it was like Adina with the back heel. Again, it was chaos on the set piece. I think it was another corner we had late on. Range tried to clear, and Laura Weinreuther managed to step in, intercept, and then retain the attack. A lovely back heel from Codner to get to the back line, cuts it back, and yeah. I really wanted Cafferty to get that goal. I wanted Cafferty to get the goal because I think she's been really bright and sharp since she's come to the Arsenal.
That goal is coming.
It's coming. I'm hoping it's coming.
I'm hoping it's coming tomorrow, because then I'll be so happy. But it's coming. Like she's. You can see the fire. She wants it. She wants to be open her account at the Arsenal, so to speak. So it'll be there, and she'll have a fair few this season, I think.
I was wondering when the penalty got taken, I wondered if maybe Foord was going to take it. There was some discussion, because she had the ball. Obviously, it was Litter took it, because I was thinking, quick, the headline writer's going to be out. Foord, awesome foursome. Foord focus, all the Foord puns are everywhere, and then obviously Caitlin does it anyway. Volleys in, well taken, tap in at the back. Sealsdale gives the 6th goal. Could have even been the 7th. I mean, Kafaji tries to chip the goalkeeper with the last kick of the game, and it just flies over the bar. And if that had dinked in, I think we would have just given up and gone home. This is just ridiculous. And it was really nice to depart Meadow Park with a real sort of buzz, because we all know there's been a lot of doom and gloom around the fans and the club. It's been, last season didn't go the way we wanted it to, and fingers have been pointed, and rightly so. There are certain people within the club, on the pitch and off it, who have to take some responsibility. We've already seen the set piece coach depart and a new chap come in. Fair to say, early doors, he's doing a good job. Hope he can continue. But again, the flip side of the coin is this is Rangers, and it would have been a disaster if we had somehow contrived to lose that game as the game panned out. Then again, my nerves going into it were heightened, shall we say, by the Atletico Madrid game against Rosenborg. Atletico were the seeded team on the other side of the draw. Everyone thought they would go through. Everyone thought we would play Atletico. Not so. Is that right, Matt?
Yes, we'll just quickly, we will come on to that in a sec. I just there was a lot of talk, especially with Lea Cadino, and about how she was feeling. She wasn't feeling 100% by December, and then she's saying she felt a lot more at home this season. And you can tell that there's a lot of I'm trying to think of the right word here. Understanding now of what she's expected, and the fact that perhaps Amanda Lechtet might not be around this season as much, so she's going to have that opportunity to be a little bit more of a bright star this season. Just what you thought? I know. Just quickly, what's your thoughts on Lea Cadino?
I thought Cadino was terrific on the night. I really liked watching her play at the back. She was very positive, moving forward into midfield. To when the ball was being cleared long, she was front-footed defending, looking to be positive and not waiting for the ball to come to her and be passive. She was very strong. There was a moment in the corner where her and Katie got in a bit of a mess. It was really the only one wobble, and Jonas came over and basically had a word with her and Katie, communicate quicker, be aware because the Rangers team are going to try and press. But she had a really strong performance in the back, and obviously had that very clever back heel for Weinreuter for the sixth goal at the end. Really exciting, and she had a press conference, as you mentioned, with Jonas early today on the day, Friday day recording, and she came across very well. And I think language is a key thing. I think people, as good as you can be as a player, being able to communicate with your teammates is crucial. And I think we saw that with Manu when she first came to the club, didn't really speak English, and I think there was some struggles defensively there. And I think with Codner, trying to muscle into the team but not really able to communicate with the defence. She was paired of all different defenders as well. She's a player I'm going to keep an eye on this season, because I think, as you say, Alice sets out now with pregnancy. We wish her all the best. I think there might be something in there for Codner to stake a claim in this back line. I think she could do something special potentially.
Lottie, any feelings towards Lea?
At this point, I'm excited to see her do what she's got to do this season. I think she's going to have a good season. But where does that leave Lotte Wubben-Moy? After last season, there's so many questions about the back pairing for me at the moment. I mean, Leah Williamson's misses Arsenal. She's not going anywhere. A lot of people have said to me, "Oh no, she's been brought in so we can rotate Leah Williamson, but she can play on either side. But she prefers to play the other side of Leah Williamson instead of where Leah Williamson plays." So I think Lotte might have another fight on her hands.
I think that's good for competition for places. And if we want the season to progress how we want it to, we'll hopefully be in the Champions League group stage whilst the season's running. I mean, last season, we basically, when we did the Conti Cup, we played Yen Beatty and Codner as our back two, and then played, Lotte amongst others, Amanda, for example, while Lea was out for ACL. I think this season you could comfortably flip-flop between Lotte, Lea, and Laya between Champions League and WSL matches, and you wouldn't really miss a beat. The Triple L threat, yeah, and you wouldn't really sort of miss a beat. And I think that's a good position to be in, that we could swap out a centre back with one of ours off the bench, and you wouldn't witness a drop. And
you say it's comfortable, but do you know what? For me, we've got that depth now, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I think when we get to our starting 11s at the end of pods, we don't know what way we're going to go. It's going to get to that point, because you look at that bench and it's kind of scary. Like, you've got a couple of academy players on there, but you look at who is sitting there and it's just like, okay, this is about to get exciting. Like, you could have a game where Mariona doesn't start, and all of a sudden, the last 20 minutes, you're bringing her in. Like, who the cities and the Chelseas will be worried about her because Mariona terrorizes Chelsea, and that's what I'm looking forward to this season. So much. It's one thing I can't wait to see. Well, definitely, especially at the bridge, if it happens.
After watching her terrorise us, it's nice to have the arm weapon in our armory rather than the opposition.
Yeah, no,
so
I think
I'm looking forward to that.
The first time I saw Barcelona at the Emirates, I've been watching Mariona since. I'm like, yeah, you just skinned. So I think she skinned Beth Mead. She skinned Katie McCabe alive. I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on you. I like you. So, but I can't believe she's all ours. It's exciting times.
We will go on to the other side of this draw, which was Rosenborg, Atletico, and Madrid. It was, I'm going to say this, it was a classic Champions League game. And what I mean by it is you get goals, and a little bit of an upset as well, with Rosenborg going through on penalties after end to end. It's the only way I can describe it, really. It was 1-1 with Atletico scoring first in the 20th minute. Then Rosenborg they wait until
they left it till the 90+1 minute.
Thank you. Got it there just before on the tip of my tongue.
It's sorry, Matt. It's just like that's where when I tuned in, I didn't actually watch the game. I saw like that goal go in, and I looked at it and I went, "How was that possible? Why did you leave it so late?" But I was like, "Oh, good, get an extra half hour of football, possibly penalties." And then, Matt, do you want to continue? Sorry.
They go again and they score in the first half of extra time in additional time, and you think, right, okay, 2-1. Okay, let's see what happens. And Atletico pull out the Uno reverse card. Literally the last minute of the game, Lauren scores. And it's one of those ones where the ball just went, I don't know where I'm going to be, and then it just slowly rolls across the line, and we go into penalties. And Rosenborg won 2-3 on penalties, and it's quite nice to see that we're going to have a different opposition that usually come in. Usually these sort of games you have like the Frankfurt versus Atletico Madrid, or Juventus and someone else, that are sort of some big giants for European football. You don't really see a team like a Rosenborg in these sorts of fights. There's an opportunity where they can bring out big guns. I mean, there have been other upsets in the past. I have got a list of teams that have actually been knocked out.
Before you go on to that list, Matt, I do want to ask you, how did Dargel Gio do? That's my first question and my last question.
Do you know?
She did play
9 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think?
I didn't actually manage to get to see that part of it by the time I managed to find the feed and everything. But she got the first yellow card, which was unfortunate.
So I spoke with some people in the pub afterwards, because a lot of the Arsenal fans had made a day out of it, and they'd gone to the Atletico Rosenborg game beforehand. So actually, if you watch the game back, you can hear some of the old Arsenal Gio chants.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes. Gio. Now my understanding is she was played in sort of a rotating front three, and she had a lot of really good chances, like 1v1s that she blew. And my nerves going into this group, because I can't repeat on the pod what I said when I discovered that Atletico was in our group before. My fear was, oh, here we go, Gio narrative. When the transfer happened afterwards as well, because Atletico was one of the highest seeded teams in the draw. And you think, I could just see it now. Gio comes back to Meadow Park, knocks Arsenal out. The Knives will be out. Why did we sell her, etc., etc. So it was a relief to see her not only not score, but then get subbed off obviously near the end. So thinking, oh crikey, nothing bad's happened then. But they did have a 1-0 lead going into added time. Should have been the end of the game. They should have managed the game, and Atletico Madrid didn't. And this is why I was thinking, when it was halftime for us, 1-0 Caitlin Foooord, thinking, I've just seen on the previous game, Atletico Madrid 1-0 up at halftime, weren't able to manage the process. They lost their nerve. They got Rosenborg back into the game, and they went and got the equaliser, and then carnage. There was goalkeeping howls at both ends. The free kick should have easily been claimed by the Atletico Madrid keeper. It isn't. It's a scramble, and when that happens, you just think, yeah, that's going to be a goal. Then, of course, it happens at the other end. The Rosenborg keeper doesn't really cover herself in glory, and Atletico Madrid smuggle one in. But it just shows, penalties happened to us last season with Paris FC. The last kick is a bit of a rubbish one, straight over the bar and into the North Bank. And I must say, it's very weird watching a team play at Meadow Park and it not be Arsenal, or should we say Boreham Wood. It was very, very bizarre to watch. But that just shows that these games aren't a given. These games are not givens at all. And we should say, I think Eintracht Frankfurt got knocked out. Last season, we saw obviously Juventus get knocked out at this stage as well, and obviously ourselves. You can't. We said about, we don't treat these with as a formality anymore, and nor should we. And Rosenborg, it's a gift. It's a gift getting them rather than Atletico Madrid in this final match, which will be a Saturday evening. But having seen what they've done to Atletico Madrid, that just makes me think we've got to be on our A game, because it's not going to be like Rangers. It's going to be a tougher prospect, and if we're not on it, we're going to penalties again, and we all know what happened last time.
So I'll just go through some of the teams that have been knocked out. Brøndby and Koloskova leave Aka. Linkoping again. First Vienna, Atletico Madrid and Rangers, Eintracht Frankfurt again, and Minsk. So essentially, just to quickly update, should Arsenal qualify against Rosenborg, they would then be the seeded team for the next round due to previous performances. So that means that they could potentially avoid Wolfsburg, Juventus, PSG, Real Madrid, and Man City, because we're not allowed to play against someone in the same league. So this could then lead us to face BK Häcken, or one of the winners out of Ajax versus Fiorentina, Paris FC and Sparta Prague, and Sporting versus Breidablik.
Yeah, so my feeling is obviously Sporting Lisbon knocked out Eintracht Frankfurt. That's an interesting one. I want Ajax, because I loved when we played Ajax in the Champions League over 2 legs. That was a fantastic trip, and I'd love to do that again. It's interesting that Paris FC and Linkoping end up in the same group again.
Have something different.
Paris FC and Linkoping being in the same group again, and it being at Linkoping again, is bringing back some very bad deja vu. But Paris FC are playing Sparta. Is it Sparta Prague? Isn't it? I'm Team Praha on this one. I mean, as much as I would love a revenge mission on Paris FC, we played Sparta before, and we've in the Champions League over 2 legs, and we battered them. I think it was like 7-0 on aggregate. I'd happily take them as over a 2-legged playoff. I feel comfortable with that. If it was Paris FC, I think a lot of nerves would be shredded at Meadow Park. But there is a personal tie there that maybe needs to be resolving. But again, we're looking ahead to a 2-legged playoff. Rosenborg are in the way at the moment. I don't like looking ahead at draws and possibilities until I know for sure that we're in the hat for the draw, which I believe is on Monday next week. So it's a very quick turnaround. It's very quick. 12 o'clock is it?
Yeah, 12 o'clock.
Very quick turnaround from this tournament. So focus is Rosenborg on the Saturday, get that out of the way, get that win, and then we can start getting our charts together and thinking, on the shopping list, who would we like to draw? And I can guarantee it's going to be the one team we don't want. But I did see that seeding thing. I think are we the second highest seed in the list or something? We're ridiculously high, which is
we are high. That's down to because we've been in the Champions League 4 out of 5 last seasons. So that's one of the reasons, and also you've got teams like Man City who have basically got to the playoff, lost their playoff, and then they haven't progressed. And the last time they have progressed is when it was a knockout tournament. So this potentially is again another milestone for Man City when we go to the next round, if we go to the next round. But first and foremost, before then, Rosenborg. Predictions. I think, Adam, what would you like to see happen?
A win, ideally, in normal time, because I don't want extra time penalties. I mean, Under the Lights at Meadow Park was fantastic, and we should say shout out to the new scoreboard. There is a new scoreboard at Meadow Park, and it's awesome. So Lottie, you get to enjoy that on the Saturday, because the old one was a bit rubbish. I'd like a nice routine win. I mean, another 6-0 would be great, but I think a 3-1.
Lottie?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a clean sheet for Manu. 3-0.
Cool.
Oh, I'm put in a different situation. I did say 2-1 last time. I don't want to say 2-1. I don't want to follow you, Adam. So I'll say 4-0 Arsenal.
4-0. I'm always
Um,
overcautious when it comes to predicting high scores, because that's, for me, is when you jinx it. And Lottie knows I have a habit of jinxing things, so I want to try and sort of be careful on that one.
I think what's probably been the highlight is the fact that they're making sure that they're learning from their mistakes. I don't know if Jonas has used some of the old tricks of, oh, this is what happened last season, make sure it doesn't happen again, or whatever's happened, whatever the analysts are doing, making sure that everything is done so that they make sure they're into that next round. That's the first thing on the wish list. Then they can look forward to that, and then they can also look forward to sort of. I think there'll be a less anxious energy at the Emirates come Man City if
we get through this
in that draw. So I think that would help a lot. I mean, last season it did not help when we lost to Liverpool, and then we were waiting for that first win because we drew to Man United, and then the whole Villa thing.
I mean, last season a lot of things went against us in terms of the World Cup and the preparation and the plastic pitch, and I don't want to make excuses, but these are just things that have happened on the way that you could argue are soft factors that contributed to what happened. And obviously, you meant to be at Liverpool. This season, we have controlled as much as possible. You know, talking sort of like a Goldilocks preparation. We've had a tough pre-season. The players have plenty of rest. We are playing on our own pitch. You know, these are effectively home ties to get for a Champions League qualifiers. We have got all the things in our favour. If we can't do it now, in these circumstances, we've had Atletico Madrid go out as well on penalties. So we've got the two unseeded teams as our path to get to the playoffs. If we can't get to the playoffs now with all these things in our favour, then what's the point? Then questions have to be asked. So we have to, take advantage of the hand we've been dealt with.
Lottie, last thoughts? Just how do you think this one's going to go in?
I just want end-to-end football. That's all I want. I want a good game. I want a good game. I'm going to the game during the day, but I'm just excited to be back in the North Bank for the Arsenal. That's all I want. I want a good game of football. And I'd love. Do you know what? I'm going to actually put this out here. I want a Caitlin Foooord goal. I want to be there for a Caitlin Foooord goal, and then my jaw can hit the floor.
I thought you were going to go the other way and Kevin Keegan it, but.
No.
No. How can you think so lowly of me? How dare you?
Not that. I wouldn't say you're that lowly compared to Kevin Keegan.
And I have hooked another one. 1-0 to Lottie.
Lottie, where can the lovely people find you?
Yeah, find me at Lottie_AWFC.
Adam, where can the lovely people find you?
You can find me at Adam Salter4 on Twitter. /X, and you can find me at Adam_Salter4 on Threads.
I should also mention that you have the Arsenal Women's Archive, which is at the AW Archive.
And we've had a few interesting finds in the recent hours, should we say. We found a well-popular Arsenal player's second goal for their club just come through, and again that I've not been able to find highlights for, but I've managed to find clips of the second goal they scored for the club, so do keep an eye out for that.
You can follow me at MattLR28. You can also follow the pod at VAW Pods. That is all for now, and Adam, I'm going to give you the last words.
Well, let's hope that when next we record our pod, we are plotting the next route of our Champions League journey. So fingers crossed. Here's to a win at Meadow Park, and come on, you Gunners.